So I made a video not too long ago about some jobs I had, and somebody asked if if I wanted to go into more detail about a job I had as a limo driver. And yeah, that was an interesting time. It was like early 2000s, mid 2000s. I was working for a company. It was a limousine company. It's basically a glorified taxi service, right? We picked up like a lot of clients, did a lot of accounts and stuff like that, corporate accounts for business people. It was kind of like also a bodyguard service where you could carry a weapon, and people could charter you for like $80 an hour. You got like half that money, right? And the company got the other half. And basically, it worked just like other cab companies where you pay for your lease for the car, right? So I don't remember what it was. It was kind of a lot. It's like 600-700 bucks, but it was like a brand new Lincoln Town car, 2001, 2002 Lincoln Town car, all blacked out. We were suit and tie and stuff like that, and I did the bodyguard service too. So I concealed weapons permit. I carried a Ruger SP 101 357 revolver, 5 shot, and yeah, and so the guy that owned the company was also kind of a friend of mine, and a lot of the other drivers were like Middle Eastern guys and stuff like that. So he kind of like when certain people came into town, you know, um, they wanted to be shown a good time, right? They wanted to like, you know, they got in on Friday and they're gonna leave Monday. So for the whole weekend, they wanted like you to drive them around, you know, bring them food or take them to strip clubs, shit like that. And you could only ask so many guys to do that because, well, one, guys going to strip clubs, they want girls, they want a lot of them want to blow, stuff like that. So you kind of had to have like the right driver to do this job, right? And it was kind of like a don't talk, don't tell type sort of thing. But my boss knew what was going on, and we all made money hand over fist, right? Because the guys would also tip you. So I ended up working a lot of these accounts for these types of clients, right? Guys who had a lot of money to burn, and they'd pick them up, take them to a strip club. They want to know like which girls might go home with them, which girls will come back in the limo, or sometimes they did limos, but usually it's just a Lincoln Town car. But they want to know which girls like played around, and it's not the easiest thing to find out, right? But I also had a deal worked out with these strip clubs where whenever I brought somebody there, they would just give me like $10, you know, $10, $10, and it was like it doesn't sound like a lot, but it added up, and sometimes they'd even give you more than that, depending on how much money the guy spent and shit like that. So it was kind of like, I would go to like Babes Cabaret, Diamond Girls, Dream Palace, those three in Scottsdale, Arizona, Scottsdale, Tempe, Arizona, that area. And yeah, and well, I started hanging out at these strip clubs because you'd have to sit with these clients, right? Because you're a bodyguard service. And which, couldn't think of worse jobs to have, right? Sitting in a strip club in a suit and tie, you know, next to another dude who's like buying me lap dances and shit like that. It was pretty fun. But so I also got a lot of time to talk to the people there, a lot of the girls and stuff like that, and kind of figured out like who was playing around, who would play around, and who wouldn't. And I also got a side business going on with some of these girls who were doing like escort service shit, like right. And so they would call me because they knew I was cool, and I would pick them up and take them to other guys' houses. So I was like making money on both ends of the stick, right? From these clients, I'd go and I'd bring them blow and stuff like that. I had a good hookup, and I mean, I was making good money, good money. I was making like $1,000 a week, cash, right, off no taxes, right? It was nice, but the job was like it was kind of stressful because you had to pay your lease up front. Say it's like $700. You had the car for the week, uh, but like so it's hard to take a day off because if you took a day off, you work the first 3 or 4 days making your lease up, right? And then the last you don't want to take a day off because now the last 3 or 4 days is like you all gravy for you. It's all money for you. Um, so you worked a lot. Basically, you worked pretty much every day, and and so these girls, man, I would take them to these guys' houses, right? They'd call me up. It'd be like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. They'd be like, hey, blah blah blah, and I pick them up. We negotiate a fare, right? And most of the girls were pretty cool. It was like I just charged them the $80 an hour. Or sometimes I work something out with them, like a little less, whatever. But whatever it is, it just depended on the circumstances, the time where I was going, shit like that. But there were a few times, man, where these chicks, man, were fucking scandalous. It was like, yeah, the one time, the only time I ever had to pull my gun on somebody, right? The only time I ever pulled a gun on anybody in my life, was I took this chick to this place, just like a typical thing. First time I'd ever used this chick, right? Or first time she'd ever used me, I should say. And everything was cool. She worked at Babe's Cabaret in Scottsdale, and took her there. I don't ask. I just wait out front. Um, they feel safe that way. I had a phone, and it was like she was in there for maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes. All of a sudden, she comes running out the door, and she's like, let's go," right? And I'm actually sitting outside of the car because I'm smoking a cigarette. Obviously, I'm not going to smoke in the car, so it's like, I was like, what's going on? Because I wasn't expecting her back that soon. Usually they're in there for at least an hour, right? So after 20 minutes, man, she comes running out. Let's go. And this dude comes running out, right? And she's like half naked, right? This dude comes running out with a baseball bat, right? And this is at like early in the morning, man. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And what am I gonna do? Like she just jumps in the car. I'm like trying to go, right? But I like I'm look, I got like my suit on and shit. I'm like checking my fucking, code, my pockets for my keys, and this dude's coming at me now with the baseball bat, right? And I'm just like, I didn't have a chance. I couldn't even I couldn't even open the fucking door in time. So the first thing, I just pulled up my gun. I'm like, stop, 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 and he did. Thankfully, he did. And he's like, fucking bitch, rip me off. Fucking bitch, give me my money. And I'm like, at that point, like I could appreciate what the guy was saying, but at the same time, he's holding a baseball bat, right? And he's about, I don't know, 20 feet from me. So I'm just like, stop, stop. And, and fucking, he backed up. He's like, fucking bitch, he like walked back inside, started walking away. And I got in the car and I drove off. And on the way out, I was like, what the fuck? This chick. And she's like, oh, he fucking, fucking wanted some extra, blah, blah, blah. He wanted me to do this and that. But, I don't do that. I'm like, what did you charge him for? She's like, here. She's handing me $100 bill. I'm like, look, like, you can't be ripping people off. If you're promising these guys fucking sex or blowjobs or whatever the fuck it is, you can't take their money. She's like, well, that's illegal. I'm like, look, this whole fucking thing is illegal, kind of, sort of, right? I mean, if this guy's paying for a service, you got to give him the service or don't fucking take his money. You can't not give him the service and then take his money. That's why the guy's pissed. I'm like, and she's like, yeah, so what's he gonna do about it? I'm like, you're gonna get somebody killed, either you or me. So at that point, I stopped doing the escort stuff because I was just like, it wasn't worth it. I mean, I just stuck with the business guys, got them below, took them, I would take the girls to those guys or whatever, or to the hotel room, but no more fucking shady shit on the side. So that was like the weirdest thing about that story. I also got to do Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper had an account. He owned like Cooperstown. It's like a bar. He was a big baseball fan. And Alice Cooper was like real religious, right? But he was like one of those guys, he wanted a bodyguard service too. And so we take him like from his bar just like a couple miles down the street to watch the Diamondbacks play. And it was cool. I mean, I'm not a huge Alice Cooper fan. I mean, he's all right, but I wasn't like super starstruck on the guy like some people were. It's fucking Alice Cooper, whatever, right? He was like, yeah, whatever, like cool. Alice Cooper from what, the '70s was kind of cool. But anyway, um, he got like, he was cool and all, but he got like real preachy. Like he would start like talking about Jesus and shit, right? And he always wanted a limo usually, right? And the limos had one of those dividing doors, bzz, bzz, that he could control and I can control, from the back. And the first couple times that he took me, or I took him to the games and stuff. I'd just sit in the car, or I'd go with him and watch the game, whatever, depending on whatever he wanted. Sometimes he had company, sometimes he didn't. But he got preachy, man. I was just having a bad day, man. I was having a bad day, man. I didn't want to be there. I was tired, and and the last thing I want is Alice Cooper fucking ask me if I found my personal relationship with Jesus, right? So as he's talking, I already talked to him once about, and I already told him that I wasn't religious and didn't have an interest in hearing what he had to say. In a polite way, I said that, right? And so he just ignored that though, right? So I had the little divider, and as he's like, so when's the last time you've been to church? Have you made your peace with Jesus? Have you accepted him as your Lord and Savior? I'm like, button. Bzzz. He's like, hey. And he's trying to open it from the back, but I got the master button up front, so he can't fucking do it. He's like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You can hide from me, but you can't hide from God. He's saying shit like that. I'm like, I had to get this divider fixed. I don't know what happened. I had the mechanic look at it, but it'd go down a little bit, bzz, then I roll back up, bzz. And well, needless to say, I didn't ever take Alice Cooper again because I got like put off that account. But man, There are times people will give me, and a couple times the $80 an hour, go to Vegas, man, and that's a long drive from Phoenix. I mean, that's like I don't even know, man. That's like a 7, 8 hour drive, something like that. Maybe even a little bit longer, but it was a little ways, right? Fucking, I'd take him to Vegas. That was cool. Walk around with him in the casinos, shit like that. Um, Sometimes they do like frat houses, fraternity houses. Somebody with some money, you pick up a fucking drunk bunch of fucking carload of drunk chicks from some fraternity house, and they always be fucking with you because they're drunk. They'd be like getting topless and like trying to get you to like fucking look at them and stuff. I mean, it was just it was mayhem. It was cool. Now those are the good stories. A lot of the stories, the bad that was like maybe I don't know 20% of the time. The other 80% of the time, you're sitting at the fucking airport waiting for somebody or stupid shit like that. So I mean, it wasn't all fucking, fun, but yeah, it lasted. I did it for about a little over a year and a half, maybe. I got burnt out, man. I couldn't work 7 days a week, because if I work 6 days a week, I'd only make like, $600 or $700 a week instead of 1,000. If I work 5 days a week, you'll be lucky to make $300 or $400 a week. So it was one of those things where you had to work a lot, and I was lazy, man. I'm not really good with money, so it's like as soon as I get a lot of money, I just fucking blow it, right? But it's I like my time better than I like to have the extra money. I like to have the extra time because I like to do whatever the fuck I want, right? Even if I'm poor, at least I don't have to do anything. Like I do whatever I want. I don't instead of having a bunch of money, but I have no time to fucking spend it. So, um, yeah, I got another job. I think I might have moved to at that point, but either way, it was a fun gig. A lot of interesting memories about that. Um, I'll make another one about pizza, delivering pizza. I delivered pizza for fuck off and on for about a decade. That was pretty fucking cool. Um, well, I mean, was it cool? Parts of it were kind of cool. I mean, parts of it weren't, but but yeah, that's I got some stories to tell about that. And I did Uber for a while. Fuck Uber. I didn't like that at all. But got some weird stories about that. People trying to rob you and shit. But I'll say that for the next video.